Right, hello, how's it going? Now, the other week I was in Miami, can't remember what for actually, and I was at a press conference for a fight that I also can't seem to remember. And I hear...
How much do you want it, Jake?
So, I wrote a book called You Gotta Want It. It was an Amazon Times bestseller.
Well, I bet that's dreadful. And then I thought, well, maybe it's not. I'm a big fan of YouTuber books. I mean, I read my copy of Chris MD's Thrill, Skills and Molehills every night before I go to bed.
Is my most favourite YouTuber and the greatest YouTuber of all time, just ever. Chris MD.
On that note, does anyone remember the one that Deji made? Kung Fu Hero in the Forbidden City, a comedy shorts gamer novel. Chapter 3. If you must prank, decide on 3 things first. The victim, the setting, and how to look like an epic hero. Anyway, so I go online, and there it is. I thought, right, well, I'll order that. And it arrived the very next day. Now, if you look here, it was supposed to be $25. Thankfully, though, I got mine for £4.
It was an Amazon Times bestseller.
So this book is called You Gotta Want It, right? Dedicating this book to my fans and supporters, to me mum and me dad, who have helped me to get where I am, to the people who want it in life, and if you don't want it, you gotta want it. Ah, alright. Right then, a quick look through the contents page is getting me excited. A few chapters here look particularly interesting, namely 10 facts about teenage guys that every teenage girl should know. Yeah, I'll be sure to bookmark that one. Got one called Haters, and then another one called Jake Paul Hates It When You Touch His Belly Button. Oh! So that's what Gib was trying. Okay, so then it starts off with this chapter, which is just a bullet point list titled Me in About 6 Seconds. Hi, my name is Jake Paul, but you probably knew that. And then number 5 here, you will never see me at the club. Huh? You'll never see me at the late night house party.
Police are investigating Jake Paul's house party in Calabasas over the weekend.
You'll never see me drinking. Oh yeah! You'll never see me smoking.
Your brother was tripping balls, dude.
Nah, my brother doesn't do drugs.
Nah, wine and beer. More like the grind and gear.
Nah, my brother doesn't do drugs.
And then, right, my favourite bit about this chapter is that the list ends with, I am wearing Yeezy shoes right now. Yup, those are Kanye's. What? Yeezy shoes? Oh, I love Yeezy shoes. Yup, those are Kanye's. I mean, take that, haters. Moving on a bit, right, there's this bit where he's like, talking about being born? My brother will have to tell you about his arrival into the world because I don't know the details. As for me, I was 3 weeks early. I couldn't wait, which is just typical of me. Yeah, man. I couldn't wait to get out of the womb so I could stop f***ing grinding. Oi, Pam, open this bitch up. I'm coming out. He then goes on to talk about his parents' divorce. My parents divorced when I was in kindergarten. I was too young to be affected by their split and I don't know any of the details. By the time I was old enough to figure things out, my mum was remarried and my dad was into the ladies. Yes. Yeah, we know that. Ready! As for my dad, I have to describe him as the legend Greg Paul. Oh, all right. I mean, if you love him so much, mate, why don't you shag him? Okay, then we get page 16, Pam Stepnick. 5 things I know about Jake that you don't. And it's mainly waffle. Apart from number 3 here, he cannot stand anyone touching his belly button. As a result, he let his belly button get dirty. At times, there was enough lint in there to knit a sweater. Oh, all right, yeah. Cheers for that, Pam. That's a lovely mental image. We then get onto the chapter where he's talking about like starting to make videos and how he had to delete one because he accidentally bullied some kid. Oh, do you just hate when that happens? In another video, I looked up as a football came falling down from the sky and hit me square in the face. We did numerous takes too. It was so funny on screen, but so painful in real life. Pain was not the point though. Comedy perfection was.
What are those?
There's also like these whole pages which are just little quotes. I'm assuming to get the pages number up. Turn up the volume on everything, right? Grind. There's no other way. Girls who can be themselves. Yes. Just yes. Stop reading for a minute and like me. More important, like yourself. I paid for this. Anyway, back to it. Now this next page is just girls, 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 girls. I would have been fucking livid if this was 25 quid. Now, there's a bit in this chapter that reads, it was like God had created all the heavens and the earth, and then he got to the best idea of all. He created girls. Oh, mate, that's class, that, like, I love shagging me. Between that trip and summer, my interest went like this. Girls. 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 By the summer after 8th grade, I was like, hello ladies, where have you been all my life? It wasn't just awesome to hear that someone thought I was attractive, it was awesome. Yeah, Fanny, Fanny, Fanny. This page also has a footnote that reads, how come puberty is acceptable to use in conversation and pube isn't? Oh yeah, there's that comedy perfection. Jennifer. One of the popular girls. She was blonde and had an athletic body. Exactly my type. She was the first girl I ever made out with. Then, a week later, I asked her out. And by out, I mean if she wanted to walk to the park and hang out with me. The implication being that we could make out again.
Straight up.
She said yes. So did Michelle. Who's Michelle?
I believe you've met my fitness consigliere. Michelle.
Michelle, she was blonde and had an athletic body. Exactly my type. She just looked so sexy. She was the first girl that made me stop everything and just go, wow. Oh, yes, lad. So did Julie. Who's Julie? Julie? Julie. She was a brunette and had an athletic body. Exactly my type. She also had boobs. You should have just titled this Jake Paul, I Get Loads of Fanny. He then, almost predictably, goes on to talk about porking them all at once. They said, you're a player. And I was. Woo! I want to be year 8 Jake Paul when I grow up, like. Okay, anyway, next up, 10 facts about teenage guys that every teenage girl should know. Picture one of those light bulbs with 3 different levels of brightness. Dim, bright, and really bright. Alright? Guys are like that. They're either sleeping, hungry, or thinking about your... Thinking about what? About what, Jake? While girls are occupied by their hairstyle, clothes and shoes, most guys are thinking about what they look like after all that's been removed. And they're in their underwear or bathing suits.
Now, I'm getting the word... nonce.
Right, well, cheers. Yeah, I'll note that down. Ignore cliques and groups. I was in the popular group. And though it might seem like guys are only interested in girls in their same group, it's not true. Oh yes, kids, I mean, you might not be really popular, but I was popular, I promise. And the thing is, right, you know for a fact that's bollocks. He made YouTube videos. Like, no one who makes YouTube videos is cool. They don't get you popular. They get you bullied. It's part and parcel of the whole journey. Finally, we'll move on. We get to haters. Let's have it. Whether you're in your teens or your 20s, popularity is an issue. Belonging to the right or cool group is important. I'm all about breaking down those barriers, talking to anyone who interests you, and not worrying about whether it's cool. Wait, but hang on. Just a few pages ago, you were practically on your knees going, oh, please believe I was popular, please. He then goes on and starts talking about when his Vine blew up and people started to recognise him. And then we get to, school felt pretty much as it always had until something happened that confounds me to this very day. Woo! Tell me more. Suddenly and inexplicably, my popularity at school plummeted. From what I had figured out, there are about 50 kids that had turned on me. And I think they simply hated my popularity. For God's sake. You're supposed to be making yourself sound like the victim in this chapter. How are you still coming across like an arsehole? Note, this was a tough chapter to read, but it had a happy ending. Smiley face. I can do a better happy face than that. Happy face. I hate this book. Okay, so we're getting to the end now, right? And we get on to this chapter, which is kind of all about him being invited to some Vine tour, which on its own sounds grim. But there's one line that I want to read to you. And he starts talking about being excited to meet this big YouTube star or Vine star called Sam Patoff. And he details their first conversation. Check out this Louis Vuitton bracelet and these Vuitton shoes, Sam said. My eyes were as large as Rolex watches. I'd never seen anyone back home with Vuitton gear. I fired another question at Sam. Have you ever seen a Lamborghini? Because I haven't. Not in real life. Dude, I see a Lamborghini every single day, he said. These are the worst people in the entire world. There's then this entire chapter about moving to Los Angeles. And again, it's pretty boring, you know, now out of the ordinary. But it ends with like this little section of him talking about walking out of his final end of year exam. I grabbed my backpack and walked out the door. In the hallway, I took out the wireless speaker I kept in my backpack and cranked the volume until the walls... until the walls and the floor vibrated from the pulsing beats of Lil Wayne's We Be Steady Mobbing. I'm sorry. The pulsing beats. Oh, were they pulsing? Then we get to my favourite bit of the whole book, the pictures. Longboarding on a cold, cloudy day in Santa Monica. Wow, that's cool. Don't try this at home, but if you're in Beverly Hills, go for it. Aha, LA. Chilling front row at the J. Cole concert in LA. Hang on, that bloke's looking up like he wants pipe. J. Cole's not gonna shag you, mate. Shirts are overrated. You stood. 10 thoughts I'm having right now. Oh, this'll be good. Black bikinis. I wish my truck had wings and could fly. Thumbs up to friends. Oh, thumbs up. Oh, friends. Okay, and then finally, right, we've thankfully came to the end of the book, but he ends it off with like an updates page, and true to form, it's fucking ropey as well. Last Friday, I drove around LA pranking people. I made great content. I'm sure you did. Yesterday, I did the red carpet at Radio Disney Awards. Instead of walking it, I rode a pink bicycle down it. Wow, you're mental, you. I also pranked celebrities there. Like I went up to Flo Rida and I said to him, "Hey, Florida, how's it going?" He said, "It's Flo Rida." Woo! Got him! Good prank, Jake. Anyway, finally, that is the end of the video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please do leave a like. That would be great. I have sat through the entirety of this, so it'd be, you know, I surely for that I deserve one. Anyway, if you do around here, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.